What is it doing now? This meeting is being live streamed. Okay. All right, so YouTube, welcome to Clear Vision Wednesday, the very first one in 2022. I'm Claudia Mühlenweg, creator of the Naturally Clear Vision Method. And I'm here today, and I'm gonna pin her so we can see her. I'm here today with one of my friends and colleagues who is, hold on, why is it doing this now? It's removing my own. Okay, now we can see both of us. So Trisha Kirby, welcome, Trisha. Do you want to introduce yourself just briefly?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So I am a intuitive life coach and a visionary artist and inspirational speaker. And we're going to talk today about building a powerful life vision.
Exactly. So one thing that, you've probably been invited, or you've probably heard a lot of these vision board meetings and these I've been getting tons of emails from lots of people about creating a vision. And what we want to talk about here today is, so how can you connect your vision for your life with your eyesight? Because that's something that most people don't talk about. And before we go into that, we want to do a little bit of a review of 2021. And Trisha, I kind of leave it up to you because you prepared some slides, and we will have lots of stories and examples, and also talking about eyesight and the connection to vision. But let's just start with the review of 2021. And I will unpin myself so that you can see Trisha large and she can show her slides. Anyone watching live has already done their homework ahead of time. If you're watching this on YouTube as a replay, you will basically be able to pause the video and then do your little reflections on 2021. Yeah, there you go. So we see the slides. Can you make them full screen?
Doing it now.
Perfect. No, that's not the one. So basically what we want to do is do a little bit of a reflection on the year 2021 and what was good and what was not so good in that year. And that will really help you get clear on where you want. Okay, go ahead, Trisha. I'm going to leave it up to you right now.
Okay, can you see it okay, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so before we dive into what we'd like to bring into 2022, I thought we'd mention looking at 2021. So before we start on a long journey to go to a new destination, we want to know where we're at right now. So just for a moment, think to yourself, looking back at 2021 and everything that happened, all your experiences, what would you like to leave behind? Do you have any habits that you'd like to leave behind? Any experiences? Any feelings? I know for me, I'm going to put procrastination into that basket of things I need to leave behind. So just think for a moment, anything you'd like to leave behind. And you can do this later too, again, when you have time. But if you have paper and pen, just write down maybe 2 or 3 things, habits, experiences, feelings that you want to leave back in 2021 that you don't want to bring forward into 2022. And then,
okay, I want to just add, it could also be relationships, because that's been coming up for me. There are certain people that I realized, they're not serving me and they're not good for me, and we're not good for each other. And so that could also be part of that list. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, that's a good point. I love that. Definitely. And then we want to look at 2021 in terms of what would you like to bring with you? What successes did you have? What accomplishments? What lessons did you learn? Things that you benefited from, things that you're proud of, maybe experiences that you had that were new to you, where you stepped outside of your comfort zone. So look at those, and those are things that you want to have as building your foundation for 2022, the things that you want to bring with you. And so a few New Year resolution facts. Just the fact that you are here is unusual, because only 40% of Americans will make New Year's resolutions, 40%. So you're already in the minority of people in that you're even interested in possibly looking at your life, changing your vision, and becoming someone better than you are. And then nearly 80% of people admitted to abandoning their New Year's resolutions by February every year, 80%. So that's a huge statistic. And I'm going to go over that little graph in a minute. So if you feel like you're stuck in a Groundhog Day year, like you think that 2022 is going to be the same as 2021 and 2021 was the same as 2020, there's hope. There is change possible. So the good news in New Year's resolutions is that you are 10 times more likely to be successful when you make your changes now than at any other time of year. And that's from the Journal of Clinical Psychology. I'm not exactly sure why that would be the case, but I think it's like a collective energy. This is my opinion, a collective energy together of a whole bunch of people wanting that change. So, and I changed that. It was how not to abandon. And I thought, well, the first thing you can do is be positive. So how to keep your New Year's resolutions. And that's creating SMART goals. That's specific goals. So there you have an exact picture of what you want, which we're going to talk about in a moment with creating your vision, that they're measurable. So you put a numeric on it, that there's something that you can actually achieve. So it's within your power to create it, that they're relevant to you, they mean something to you, and that they're bound by time. So they have a date to them, like by July, I want to accomplish what, and then you fill in the blank. And then determining your why, and we'll be talking about that later, and finding an accountability partner. So what's your vision? And this is where we're going to dive into what we want for 2022. Your goals and intentions. What's your vision? And Claudia, I'm going to ask you for this part, how our physical vision affects our life vision and vice versa, because we were discussing the degree to which our eyesight and the features, like I'm nearsighted, and it absolutely does affect how I view life and how I look at things. So I'm going to stop screen share for a moment to let you talk about how our physical vision and our life vision correlate.
Yeah, so definitely, this is really based on the work of Martin Brofman, who wrote a really great book called Improve Your Vision. I love this book. And he did extensive work on connecting the personalities of people to their eyesight. And he found that, and this is a little bit generalized, but I found in my own experience this to be true. But it's like, some things you can't put everybody in the same bucket. But basically he found that when you look at someone nearsighted, and he was talking about this kind of bubble, like if you see yourself, there's a space around you like a bubble, like maybe think of 1 meter or something like that, that a nearsighted person tends to be more inside that bubble. They're more like introverted, more quiet, they need their own private time, and they focus more on the I than the you, and the you being the other person, right? So when you look at we as two people together, they focus more on the I than the we, and they have a tendency to focus more on the future in their thinking, but with a sensation of fear and anxiety. And I've definitely seen this to be true, like worry about the future, like always thinking, oh, this is the worst case scenario. A farsighted person tends to be more outside of their bubble. So again, when you think of this space, they tend to be more out there. And I was born farsighted with strabismus and farsight. So I'm a farsighted personality, and I can definitely see that for myself. We're always about helping everybody else, the you. And then when it comes to the I remember when I was going through divorce, and my children were little, and the counselor was saying, well, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Of course, I didn't even look at myself, and that kind of like paying attention to that kind of space, this little inner space. And a farsighted person tends to be more occupied with the past, often with, anger or justifications for behaviors, but they kind of ruminate about the past a lot. And a stigmatic person is a little bit more complicated. And a lot of times that goes hand in hand with farsightedness, but astigmatism is more like, depending if you are right-handed, the right eye is like the want eye, and the left eye is the feeling eye. If you're left-handed, it's the other way around. But basically, if your astigmatism is very strong in your right eye, you might often not know what you want. And if it's in the left eye, what you feel. So there's a tendency, and I definitely have astigmatism sometimes coming up in my right eye. And it's exactly at those times when I'm not sure what I want. When I ask everybody else, should I do this or should I do that? Should I buy this car or that car? And so that's definitely been true for me too. And sometimes with astigmatism, it could also feel that you have to play a role that's not truly you. So you're kind of pretending you're kind of this actor in your own life in different scenarios. And we all play different roles in our lives. I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a friend. Like we all have these different roles, but you really want to be true to yourself. So that's kind of from Martin Brofman's work. And what he said was really that none of these personalities are in the present moment. So again, the myopic person is more in the future. The farsighted person is generally more in the past. The astigmatic person is not really sure where they are. That's not so much future and past, but there's a tendency not to be in this present moment. And eyesight, the actual art of seeing, can only happen in the here and now, right? When we are in our mind, we can, but that's what we're going to do a little bit in a little moment, is visualize, think about the future, or we can think about the past, what we just did with 2021. But when it comes to actual eyesight, we can only be in the present moment. And the thing is, and Trisha, these were kind of your words, but I love them so much. Call your energy back from future fears and past regrets to the here and now. And this is really your point of power. And when you're in that point of power and in this relaxed present moment, assuming you're not stressed right now, when you're in this relaxed present moment, from that point, you can really make powerful new visions for yourself and really create something that you can manifest. But if you are always, in the past or the present and you don't really, the past or the future, but with worry and fear or regrets versus actually, learning your lessons, so to speak. So I'm going to turn it back to Trisha. And we're going to look into different life areas right now, because, we talk about your life vision. I just want to say that, Trisha, we talk about the life vision, but this would be too much right now to focus on the whole big thing. And what we thought would be to pick one area of your life. Trisha, let me add a spotlight to you again, and you can unmute yourself. So add an area of your life where you feel like your eyesight is really, like eyesight is connected to everything, right, that we're doing in our lives, right? Our career, our work, our relationships, our hobbies, our spiritual life, it's connected to everything. But let's pick one area. Okay, Trisha, you take over again.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just go to share. All right. Yep. Hang on a sec. Let me move this out of the way. Oops.
We have a little coaching
There
wheel
we go. Okay. Oops. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Wait a minute. I'm going the wrong way. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yes, the coaching wheel. So, okay. So everyone, when you look at your life, unless you have some perfect life that probably nobody has, there's going to be some area where you would like to see some improvement. It could be in your health, could be in your family and home environment, could be in recreation. Maybe you have more hobbies or more time that you'd like for recreation. Could be in relationships. Relationships can be work relationships. They can be your romantic relationships, friend relationships. Could be in your career purpose. Maybe you're deciding on a new career, or you're retiring and transitioning to a different life purpose in another area of your life. Could be financial. Could be personal development, could be what you want to do out in the community, maybe about the legacy that you want to leave in life. So there will be some area in here, and possibly more than one. I remember I did this wheel one time and I needed help in all the wheel areas. But look at the areas and see which one, pick one for now that corresponds with your vision. So for me, a little bit health and a little bit life purpose career right now, definitely. And then later and then down the road, a couple of years, relationships. And where you can think longer term, you can think a 10-year plan, you can think a 5-year plan, you can think a 1-year plan. Most of what we're going to be doing is this 1 year, but that's building for further on out. So
should we give some examples? Should we give some examples? I think you had one where your eyesight, how it's connected to certain areas. You had one with dating. Maybe you want to share.
Right.
That.
Yes. So, right. So with relationships, with vision, with being nearsighted. So most of the guys that I've dated in my life have not liked seeing me in glasses. So I have put myself into contact lenses for them. I don't really like wearing contact lenses. They just feel uncomfortable to me. But anyway, I wear them. And so I'll put the contact lenses on, but as soon as I do that, I don't have near vision anymore. I only have far vision. I only have like that one ability to see. So I'll see farther away, but I can't read a menu. So if we go to a restaurant, I can't see the menu to order it. So, and I feel a little powerless with that. So I don't like that. It's not fun for me. So that's one area and it's small, but I would love to have clear vision for that. And that's in the dating world. And for recreation, I would love to have clear vision when I go to the beach. I live in Clearwater, and there's a gorgeous beach here. And when you swim, you'd either have to wear contact lenses with your mask and risk losing them if you happen to have your mask taken off. You can't open your eyes underwater, obviously. But I would love to have clear vision to be able to wear my mask and see some of the sea mammals there. We have dolphins. I've literally had manatees come right up to us at the beach. I would love to be able to have clear vision for that and not have to worry about my contacts and even leaving my glasses up at the beach. If I take my glasses and I just go with a mask, is someone going to take my glasses? So that's another thing.
Another example would be like a pilot. We don't want to spend too much time, but just give you some food for thought. Let's say, you want to do more photography, but your vision is really affected. And maybe you want to go into areas where you might not know if you have glasses when they break, or you want to be a pilot, or any of those things. To me, it comes down to freedom, really, in most of these areas. Like even with recreation, right? Like you said, I went to the beach this morning, and there's surfers, and one of my clients is a surfer, and he said, like what you just talked about, the contact lenses. He lost that, and then he couldn't drive home. So, which of these areas, where do you feel like you want to have a really powerful shift or change in your life that is also connected, where your eyesight might be holding you back, where you might not even live your life fully because you're like, oh, I can't do that with my vision. Maybe there is an area that pops up, and if not, then just pick one that makes sense to you. So don't overthink it.
Yes. Okay, so pick an area where you'd like to have some changes. And then we're going to move into a visualization in a moment. And so for your setting goals and intentions and visualizing that powerful place that you want to be in your life, the main thing to tune into is how you're going to feel when you have that, whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it's the clear vision or the career or that ideal relationship. We're going to look at how it's going to feel and have a little visualization about that. So if you're in a safe space and you feel comfortable, close your eyes. It's just going to be a couple of minutes, and begin to relax your body. So start with your breathing, just deep breath in and then let it out. And then begin feeling relaxation, starting with your feet and moving up to your knees, just relaxing each part of your body and moving up to your hips, and then relaxing your lower back and feeling completely supported in your body, feeling at ease, and then moving up to your upper back and feeling your shoulders relax and drop down, and then feeling your neck relax and your jaw, and then your face, and feeling your eyes relax. Now your head, and keep breathing. Deep breath in, let it out. Nice slow breath. And now place your awareness on your heart area and imagine there's a light around you. And that light grows with each breath, filling your body with light. And this can be a white light, or it can be whatever color you would like, but it's a light all around you. And in this place of relaxation and awareness, you're going to look back on a memory in your life where you have a feeling of appreciation and gratitude. Could be an experience, could be a person, could be a pet or an animal that you love. But just feel that appreciation and gratitude with that memory. And then let that memory go, but keep that feeling of gratitude and appreciation with you. And then we're going to bring your awareness to an area of life that you chose to focus on, where you'd like to create something new, something different, something better and brighter and easier and more passionate than you have right now. And I'm just going to pause for a moment and visualize that in as much detail as you can with all your senses. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are your other senses? Do you smell anything? Do you taste anything? Are there other people with you? and see yourself as fully as you can in that ideal state, in that powerful moment, this new life vision that you have for yourself. And anchor that visual, anchor that experience in that light, in your heart, and know that you're now connected with it. You're connected with that future self, with that future moment. And that connection is going to pull you forward towards your goal. It's going to bring you the experiences and people and resources that you need are going to come into your life easily and gracefully to help you achieve what you want to achieve and be successful and help bring in that happiness, that happy place in your life. So take another deep breath in and let it out. And slowly wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and bring yourself back to the present moment. And if you have a piece of paper with you, you can open your eyes. And if you saw anything or felt anything that was meaningful to you, then write it down and journal it, because one of the keys to creating what you want in life is to bring it into physical form. And bringing your vision into physical form, the first step is writing it down, putting it on paper. So one of the things I wanted to mention here, there's a lot of steps to reaching a goal and setting an intention and then reaching that intention. And then there's some things that get in the way. So I'm putting the date up here, January 17th, because some interesting research was done statistically that when people set goals for themselves, this was a social network for athletes, and that it tracks the running and bike rides. And they looked at over 108 million entries in the United States. And they found that January 17th is the date when most Americans are likely to bail out on their fitness goals for the year. And I would imagine quite a few other goals too. So about 3 weeks in, if you set your vision, the time when you're most likely to either forget about it or dismiss it or let it go is January 17th. So what's the reframe that we can do? How do we move past the possible blocks to achieving what we want, to bringing in this powerful vision? How do we get past it? How do we stay on track for our goals? And what's the solution here? So the solution is having a bigger why. And it's not about setting a resolution. It's not about setting a goal. It's about having a why. Why are we doing this? Is it a personal why? Like we want a relationship because we want the fun and partnership. We want a new career because we want to increase our financial abundance. What's our whys? We have these personal whys, but we also have a bigger why, a larger reason in the universe for what we want. So my bigger why is animals. I love animals. I volunteered at a kill shelter a few years ago, and I had no idea, but I got to help so many animals. I was a foster and I did a lot of adoptions, and my bigger why became helping animals. So everything about my life, doing the coaching and doing the visionary work that I do and the speaking, even though I'm speaking about life and personal development topics, my bigger vision is I want to be able to help animals. I love animals. So my bigger why became these beautiful dogs and cats and even the wild animals out there. It became helping them. That was my goal. I figured if enough people live their life and their purpose and their soul passions, they would also want to take care of the planet. They would become happier, kinder people to their families, their children, their friends, and their pets. So instead of seeing January 17th as the day that people give up on their dreams, I thought, let's look at a bigger why. January 17th is Betty White's birthday. And for those of you who may be overseas, may not know who she is, she was an American actress and humanitarian. And she devoted her life also to helping animals wild animals, but also animals, shelter animals, rescue animals. And January 17th this year, people are suggesting that you choose a local rescue or an animal shelter in your area and donate $5 in her name. Make it her 100th birthday, make it a movement that she deserves. So she actually passed away just a few days ago, and she was 99 years old, and she would have been 100 on January 17th. So I thought that was a good coincidence. So you want to look at your life and find your bigger why. What's the why that really motivates you? What's the why that you get excited about? Because that's what's going to pull you forward in life. That's going to be that the encompassing why that is for all your intentions, your dreams, your vision. Everything's going to be wrapped up in this bigger why. So it's what you stand for. What do you stand for? And if you don't know yet, that's okay. But start asking, start looking at the patterns in your life, the things that you enjoy most, your hobbies, your passions, your interests, even your career. But look for a pattern, because your bigger why is in there somewhere. And you wouldn't be listening to a call like this if you didn't have that. There's always a why there. So challenge yourself to find your bigger why. So in this call so far, we've talked about your path to success, and it's going to be getting clear on what you want in each area of your life. So do a little meditation on each one of those areas and decide on what you want to create, visualize it and feel it. Feel your powerful life vision using all of your senses. You want to create an action plan with daily or weekly steps that you can take towards your goals. That's really important. You don't just imagine it and then let it go and think, okay, well, I hope it happens. No, you've got to take some action towards it. You've got to create a plan. You want to maintain a positive or at least a neutral mindset. And this is a lot about watching the voice in your head and making sure that it's a cheerleader and not criticizing you all the time. So pay attention to that. Make that voice positive and supportive. And then understand that change takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It might be a month. It might be 3 months. It might be 6 months. It might take the entire year, but be kind to yourself and allow for that progress. You want to reduce distractions or negative influences. This could be situations or people or you yourself being negative to yourself. So be positive to yourself or be neutral towards yourself. And then make a plan for possible challenges. Like there could be things that come up that would take you off track, and anticipate those ahead of time, because you'll be more successful if you see what's coming and anticipate it, and then have a backup plan. Say, well, if this happens, not that you're going to be thinking negatively, but just that you're prepared. Be prepared. If you get off track, you know how to recover. You know how to bounce back. Be your own support system there. And then reward yourself along the way. Build in little rewards. So say you have a 1 month task ahead of you and you have a date set, then give yourself a reward. Okay, so when this happens, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to buy myself a new journal, or I'm going to take a little extra trip to the beach or something, or just build in something that's fun and that's a reward for you. And then remembering your why, both your personal why you're doing things and what your purpose is, and your bigger why. What's that bigger why that's going to move you forward, motivate you intrinsically from within? And then finding support and accountability. And this can be with family, friends, mentors, teachers, your guides. It could be mastermind groups, but find your tribe, find your resources. And if you don't want to be around people, that's okay. You can go to the library and check out books that are in the topic that you're interested in, and do it that way too, that you can find resources and support in all sorts of places. I find that it's really helpful to align with group energy. I find that a bunch of people gathered together with the same mission or the same purpose has a lot of energy to it. I think that's just, it's a real gift to be in that vibrational field. So, and I offer that as well. I offer helping people align with their goals and making sure that they're connected and resonant with their soul so that they do create a really positive year. So, and thank you for watching. We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
All right. Right, Trisha. Well, a lot of things came up for me as you were talking. Let me actually highlight my own video. It's always the managing the Zoom here. Oops, I highlighted Justina by accident. How sorry. I don't know how that happened. Apologies. I clicked on myself. Okay. So yeah, a lot of things came up for me. I went to one of my goals is to live near water. I have had this vision. I'm living near water, and I don't know if it's an ocean or a lake. And this morning I went to the beach. I had a little extra time. I donated blood yesterday. I couldn't do my yoga exercise. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a little walk at the beach. And I'm like looking at these buildings. I'm like, which one am I going to live in? Which one of these houses? And then, on the walk back to the car, I saw this little realtor, this little board with like all these. I'm like, oh my God, like a little studio is like $3,500, not even at the beach, like, I'm like, oh my God. And then what you talked about, that mind was like, oh, that's not going to work. I'm like, something will happen, something will matter. But I had to immediately stop myself thinking I can't afford that. My mind was already immediately like, that's not going to happen, Claudia. What are you daydreaming about? So I think it's super important to, to recognize that voice when it says, or when other people, like you mentioned, other people, a lot of times family or our best friends can also be the biggest roadblocks, because not that they don't want us to be successful, but they want us to stay the same, because then they know we are friends. And if you suddenly, for instance, if you change your diet and you get healthier, a lot of times people are like, they don't want you. So they give you like, don't, like I've had that happen where you, come on, this one drink or this one cake, like, I'm like, no, I don't want that. So it's like, they're not evil people, but sometimes you have to be very clear on who is not a good influence for you. And with family, it's tricky because we can't, it's family, but, just recognizing those things. So thank you so much. And I'm wondering if you have any questions about any of this. And I know, Trisha, don't share a few of the examples that you had, because you had didn't you have a few examples of where something happened, or you were intuitively reading somebody's, they weren't really clear on what they wanted to do, and you helped them to see their own vision?
Yeah, well, I do that all the time with people. It's funny because I meet so many people who aren't living the life that their soul wants them to live. And a lot of people don't know that. I would say God, it's like shocking to me, but probably 70% of people I meet are not in the career that they're supposed to be in. And it's a vibration. So I feel, being intuitive, I feel energy and resonances and vibrational frequencies. And I will tell you the 2 careers, or maybe 3 careers, that I have seen where the people were in resonance always was massage therapists, so healers, people who are healers, and teachers. Those almost always, they are in resonance with what their soul wants. But a lot of other people are not. So usually what I'll do is I'll talk.
Did you have a story about this person who wanted to run for mayor? And
yeah.
Tell the story. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I had a client who asked me, they called me up and said, hey, I am a mentor to this individual who is, their dream is to be the mayor, and they're thinking about running for political office. And so they said, but they're backing out right now. They hadn't registered yet or signed up for even to be on the election ballot. And they said, can you just let me know, what do you see? Like, what do you feel around this? And so I said, sure, I can tune. So I tuned into it. And I felt that if they registered and ran for election, that they would win. I got that very clear. I thought they're going to win. They're going to love it. People are going to love them. And it's definitely in alignment with their soul and their purpose. So I said, yes, I said, you can tell this person that yes. And then I got this information right away that came in that said, it gave a deadline on it. Like I heard it say, my guides were saying but they have to sign up by Friday. Because I think this was a Wednesday. I was talking with this person. I said, I'm hearing they need to sign up by Friday. And my friend said, my client and a friend, and they said, that's when the election sign up closes. They have to sign in by Friday. If they don't sign up by Friday, they're not even on the ballot. So he told this person, they signed up on the ballot. They won mayor of Tampa, and they won 2 terms, which is the most you can have. After that, your term limited out, but they became one of the most beloved mayors of Tampa that they ever had. So in history. So I love doing stuff like that. I mean, I love lining people up, especially if they have this a bigger life purpose where you really want to help people on the planet. I love that. Yeah, but that was a really fun one. And sometimes I'll see a future for someone that they don't even see for themselves yet. Like they have no idea. So in relationship world, I had someone I was talking with, and they weren't even asking about relationships. We were just chatting about something. We were talking about something unrelated. And they said they mentioned someone that they were emailing with, just a friend. And I knew this person and their wife at the time. And they mentioned this friend very casually. And I said, wait a minute. And I said, I feel something around that. Hang on a second. And so I tuned into him and I tuned into this person. I said, yeah. And then he said, no, that's just a friend. And he really meant it. He meant that's just a friend. And I was like, no, I feel a resonance there. And he said, relationship? And I said, yeah, I feel a relationship there. And he said, no way. I love my wife. No. And within a year, he was marrying this person. He had divorced his wife, amicable separation, divorced his wife, was marrying this person that I told. And he invited me to the proposal at Burn's Steakhouse in Tampa, which is a really fancy steakhouse, on New Year's Eve. And he said, the reason I want you there is because you saw it before I did. Yeah, it was really funny. So I just
you felt me with some things where I wasn't sure, where you're just like, no, Claudia, I don't feel any energy around it. And it's kind of because sometimes deep down we know these things, but then we don't trust our own guidance. And you have such a powerful, I don't even know, intuition on these things. So just before we shut the YouTube live down, and I want to look at, I don't see any questions right now. Let me look. No, there are no questions right now. How can people work? Can people work with you or get your guidance before we close the YouTube down? Just share it quickly. If anybody's interested in working with you and getting that fine-tuned vision for yourself.
Yes. So I can feel frequencies on anything. And I love tuning people into what is the highest and best for their soul. And it's like if someone has a goal, I tune into the goal and see if it's alignment with what their soul wants and make sure that that's a match and resonance. And if it's not, then we figure out a better goal or a different goal that their soul is on board with. Because if you have your soul behind your goal, you're going to make a lot more progress and you're going to call in all the resources, almost like a constant stream of miracles will happen. But I can feel resonances on anything, on choices and locations. If you're thinking of moving someplace, if you're thinking of diet changes, if you're thinking of relationships, you're thinking of career changes, I can feel resonances on anything. It's just something that I pick up frequencies and I see things. So, and I love, and I can also tune into things and amplify the energy to make it stronger so that when you are heading out for your goal, you can tune into it as well. So I make sure that connection is there too. So, and as far as working with me, I work both as an intuitive and a life coach. I'm also a bioresonance practitioner, but that's more for local people. If you're in the Bay Area, the Tampa Bay area. But if you want to work with me, yes, I do intuitive work and life coaching work. So definitely, let's see, I can give my email address.
Yeah, just put your email address down so that I can put it in the YouTube as well, so that people can connect with you, because I know you're giving everybody that's coming to my world a very, very special investment option to get a private 2-hour visualizing. I don't know the name of the session exactly, but it's basically building that powerful life vision for yourself and really a soul connected life vision for yourself. So let me see, I'm going to put that into the YouTube as well. So you can reach out to Trisha, and right now you have a chance of working with her. Instead of for $497, you can work with her for $147. So that's a very special, only for people from this community that can, and this only is good for what for 1 week or something? Yeah. Did you say 1 week?
Yeah, you know what, let's do it through January 17th.
Okay, great idea. Love it. Through January 17th. So you don't have to take the session by then, but you have to connect with Trisha and book it and everything. So I would
love and be honored to help anyone who needs some inspiration and assistance in their life. That would, I am on this planet to help people complete their missions as a soul.
Some people are already asking on YouTube. Yeah, so I put it in there. So just connect with Trisha and make sure you book your session by then. And let's see how, I just put that in there. I had such a terrible year last year. I have no hope for this year. So doing a visualization of what I want is impossible. So what do you say to somebody who doesn't feel like there's hope or there's no place to move forward?
Well, I know that feeling. I have been I have been there. I have had some enormous losses in my life, health from car accidents, and had almost everybody I love die in a short period of time. So, and not die in nice ways either. So I will say this, hang in there, because it does get better. You've got to look beyond just this one moment. And honestly, when things were at their absolute worst and I felt like everything in life was dark, I would just go through, okay, if I can get through the next 5 minutes, if I can get through the next 10 minutes. And I did a lot of personal soul searching and personal development and inputting as much positive as I could, because sometimes the negativity is a health issue. Sometimes you need a doctor's help. Sometimes, it's a neurotransmitter issue in your brain, and you really need some physical support where you can't dig your way out of that negative thinking because there's an actual physical problem. I mean, I have found some of the things that helped me in the past is doing tryptophan and 5-HTP and taking some of these neurotransmitter balancers, taking essential fatty acids. Sometimes if you see a nutritionist or a doctor, there's a component there that can help you. And then sometimes it's working with EFT, these psychosensory therapies where you're doing the tapping on your meridian points to help you, or using psychosensory therapies like havening or EMDR that help you retrain your brain to be more supportive of you. So, but I definitely keep moving forward, because when I look back on some of the darkest places I've been in terms of being depressed, I have made light years progress, but it didn't come overnight, and it didn't always come easily. I sought out I did a lot of praying, honestly, too, but I took active steps. I mean, I didn't just sit on my behind and cry and feel sorry for myself more than short periods of time, but I went to the beach a lot too. I mean, when I was working part-time, when I was really sick, I had Lyme disease for many years too. So I know about having chronic illness and being so sick I couldn't get out of bed, chronic fatigue and everything else. I mean, I've been in some really dark places, but keep moving forward, have a plan for yourself. And even if it's just a little plan, even if it's a plan that I feel a little bit better next month than I feel right now, set yourself small goals and then work towards those small goals and keep supporting yourself, and reach out to people if you need help. There are people out there. There's always people out there that can help you. You've got to connect with those right resources to help you. It's out there. The possibilities are out there, and I'll keep you in my prayers too.
Thank you so much, Trisha. That was wonderful. And what I would add is finding things to be grateful for, because sometimes I have not been chronically ill to the point where I couldn't get out of bed, but I've been in a very terrible place with a very nasty divorce. And, we've all been in terrible places. And what helped me always is finding things that I'm grateful for. For instance, having access to this class right now, or being able to have internet, or just finding little things in your life that are really nice that you can be grateful for. I think that shifts your whole mindset into a different state, and positivity and relaxation. And from there on, you can make these baby steps and, all the different methodologies and things that Trisha added. Make sure that you do look for licensed practitioners. You don't just, take any supplements without knowing what you're doing. We always have to disclaim that. But yeah, thank you so much, Trisha. And I just have a few more questions for you. So Silvana's asking, does Trisha do distant consult? She's in Europe. You do, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Phones are easy. I can do video. I can do phone. Anything. It frequency and resonance travels, so it's super easy for me to do that on the phone. I'm tuning now. I would say I don't do readings off of emails. I don't usually read an email and get a ton of information off of it. Usually I have to hear the person's voice. Now, sometimes if it's a voice, you've left me voicemails before and I got information off of that where I was picking up stuff. And then I told you later, I was oh, I'm getting this and this and this. And I know you didn't ask me for this information, but I'm just letting you know.
But I love that about you, because, but anyway, we have to come to a close. So Trisha, you have this offer for the next through January 17th. So email Trisha. There's no fancy sales page, whatever, you're such a hard worker, and you're such an incredible gift. And I really want everybody who feels called to do this, to reach out to you and book that session. And I know you're always overgiving. You're always giving so much more than, so yeah, just take advantage of that if you feel called to do that. And otherwise, I don't see any more questions. Yeah, Diana also says you're such a gift. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Diana.
Okay, well, we will end the YouTube live now. So goodbye. We will announce the next Wednesday soon. But stay tuned. This show or whatever you want to call it, the podcast is happening every Wednesday. And I see you all. See you soon. And I love you all. And bye, YouTube. Bye-bye.